Good afternoon,
Good.
sir.
So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So let us revise the things which has been taught 2 days back. Okay. Uh, can you tell me what is growth? How can you define growth of a child? Yes, any one of you? So growth is the increase in size and shape of the body. Okay. There is a physical growth and internal growth. So what are the components of growth? I have told there are the components of growth is length or height, weight, head circumference, chest circumference, abdominal girth, mid upper arm circumference, then arm span. So what is the normal weight of the baby at the time of birth? Have you gone through books? Yes? Are you listening or not?
Yes,
2.5
sir.
to 3 kgs.
You are listening. So
Yes,
just
sir.
yes, I am revising the things which I have taught 2 days back. Okay. So normal weight of the baby, usually, what is the normal weight of the body? Baby,
2.77 to 4 kg.
2.4. Okay, good. Then what do you mean by low birth weight? Low birth weight, very low birth weight, and extremely low birth weight. No? Okay. Now, today we'll discuss factors affecting the growth. Okay. So, anybody can tell me what are the factors affecting the growth?
Genetic factors, familial,
Or
nutritional.
familial factor. If the family member is tall, if the mother and father, or even mother is tall, or mother and father or grandfather is tall, the baby born should be tall. Okay? Or if the mother and father is small stature, the baby can be small stature. What are the second factors? First one is hereditary. Second one is nationality.
Nu-
Do you know, can you give one example of nationality which affects the growth of the child? It has been written in the books, Scandinavians are more taller than the others. Okay? Means person from Sweden, then other countries are more taller. What are the third one? Ethnic group. Ethnic groups are tall stature. As for example, if you go to the Afghanistan, Pakistan, they are more taller than us. So this is the third factors which affects the growth. What are the next one? Age of the child. The growth is enhanced during intrauterine life and first year of life, and then at 10 to 12 years of life. A spot of growth occurs at 11 years, 12 years, but growth is also enhanced during intrauterine life, 5 to 6 years of life, and also during 11 to 12 years. So what are the other factors which influences the growth? This is sex. Usually,
Nutrition, infection, chemical agents,
there are others,
socioeconomic
but
factors.
can you tell me what is the sex? Which sex has got rapid growth? Usually
Girls,
females having
females,
rapid growth than males. Okay. The other causes are genetic cause. Can you tell me one of the example of genetic cause of, as for example,
Down syndrome,
Down syndrome, yes, and then और को
Cushing syndrome,
अच्छा Cushing syndrome. This is endocrinal cause. This is endocrinal cause. Genetic cause,
Hygiene is
achondroplasia. What happens in achondroplasia? The growth is not enhanced, it is retarded. Then what are the others? The others in which the growth is enhanced is, I have told day before yesterday also, this might be Marfan syndrome, and also chromosomal causes, Klinefelter syndrome. Okay, so these are the causes. Then come to the environmental factors. Environmental means economic conditions. Which one has rapid growth, poor or rich?
Rich.
Rich, yes. So it also depends upon the economic condition of the physical surroundings, also influences the lack of sunlight and other things can have influence on the growth of the child. The others are season. Here in the books, it has been written during a spring region, the growth is enhanced. But in other region, like winter region, the growth is slowed down. I don't know how much it is true. Then come to the psychological causes. Do you think psychological causes also affect the growth of the child? Yes. Psychological
Yes,
means
sir.
if the
Yes, sir.
if the child is getting more and more psychologically bound to the family members, his growth can enhance. Okay. Then come to the endocrine exercise. Do you think the exercise also influences the growth? Yes. Exercise, it has got influence on the growth of the child. If the child is exercising, his height and may be increased. But the child who is not having habit of exercise, the growth might not be increased. Then come to the endocrinal causes. What are the endocrinal causes of which affects the growth? As you have already told, hypothyroidism, then
hypopituitarism,
yes. Any other? Cushing syndrome. Have you heard about Cushing syndrome? And then others also. Then come to there is the other diseases. Diseases, can you tell me? Chronic diseases. If the child is having chronic diseases from the beginning, the growth may be retarded. Okay. And then chronic disease means asthma, then chronic renal failure, liver diseases, and even other respiratory diseases like chronic tuberculosis. It also hamper the growth of the child. Then come to the drugs. Do you know any drugs which has influence on the growth? Yes. Do you know any drugs?
thalidomide,
Corticosteroids. Corticosteroids can cause early fusion of the bone. Okay. Then others are, there are so many other factors also, but you have to remember at least 10 or 12 factors that influences the growth of the child. Now let us come to the what is the growth chart? Because you have to write the weight of the child, and you have to see in the growth chart whether the child is appropriate for age or not, or whether it is child is low birth weight. And how can you know? By plotting the weight of the child in the growth chart. Okay, so you might not have any idea. Suppose the existing weight of the child is 5 years old child having existing weight of 12 kg, but his expected weight should be 15 kg. So you have to plot on the chart and you have to find it out whether the child is malnourished or not. In malnutrition also, whether it is mild type of malnutrition or moderate type of malnutrition or severe type of malnutrition. Even for the height, you have to take the height of the child, 5 years old child, and you have to see what is the existing height and what is the expected height. And then you have to find it out whether the child is stunted or not. Stunted means it is mildly stunted, moderately stunted, or severely stunted. Then this is called height for age. Weight for age is for weight of the child, and then you have to know the muscle girth. Then it is called height, weight for height, and this is whether the patient is marasmic or having kwashiorkor. So you have to play. So what is the importance of this growth monitoring? There are so many importance to detect the early growth retardation. If you do the growth monitoring, you will find is there any growth retardation or not. If there is a growth retardation, what will do? You will give more and more nutritious diet. You have to give other micronutrients or macronutrients to increase the weight of the child. So first one is to detect the early growth retardation. What is the second one? Second one is to promote the optimum growth. The third advantage is the create awareness about the growth among the mothers. So if you as a doctor, you will monitor the growth of the child and you will counsel the mother. His weight is not appropriate for age. And then you will counsel the mother what to give, what not to give, and how to care the child. So this is the third one. The fourth one is enhance the delivery of personal health care. And fifth one is to identify the risk of the malnutrition. Risk of the malnutrition. I think malnutrition has not been taught in the class up till now. Yes? It has been taught in the class?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, okay. So if you read the malnutrition, there are so many classifications like Gomez classifications, then Wellcome classification, Waterloo classification, Indian Academic of Pediatrics, then WHO classification. And everywhere you have to see the growth chart also. And then in the classes, in the inpatient department also or outpatient department also, you have to take the weight, you have to take the height or length, you have to take the head circumference, then mid-arm circumference, and you have to find it out whether the patient is normal, weight, height, or head circumference, or is there any abnormality. And on that basis, you can find it out whether it is mildly, moderately, severely. Then if you go to the inpatient department, but before that, you will be taught in the theory also. Okay, so this you must know these things. Mid upper arm circumference. Do you know how to take the mid upper arm circumference? By by tape. Which tape? Sakir's tape. And Sakir's tape, and you can find it out whether the patient is mildly malnourished, moderately malnourished, and severely malnourished. That you learn when you go to the inpatient department for clinical teaching. Okay? Then now, in any question regarding this, have you got any questions? If you don't have, then I will go ahead. Yes? Any questions? भन्नुहोस् न कसैले? No questions.
China, sir.
Okay. So now come to the what is short stature? Do you know what is short stature? Anybody? If the child height is less than third centile or -2 standard deviation below normal is called short stature. The short stature, it is also called dwarfism, or you can also tell failure to thrive also. So what are the causes of short stature? Yes? What are the causes of short stature? Can anybody tell me?
Undernutrition and chronic diseases.
Acha, chronic, any other?
Kasper-Hauser syndrome.
First one is familial or hereditary, then acquired. Okay? Familial means, I have already told, according to the Mendel's law. Do you know Mendel's law? Have you gone through Mendel's law?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes.
the father or mother is short stature, the child may be short stature. So, on the basis of Mendel's law, this is hereditary. The second is the secondary cause. Secondary causes that we have told about the various infections or various systemic diseases. Can you tell me what are the systemic diseases causes short stature? Yes. Gastrointestinal diseases.
Growth renal failure.
Renal failure. Yes, chronic renal failure. So renal
IBD.
diseases. Then cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular diseases means congenital cyanotic heart disease or even acyanotic heart disease can causes short stature. The other causes are like respiratory causes, chronic asthma, or even cystic fibrosis. These all causes short stature. Then endocrinal causes. Endocrinal causes, these are the hypothyroidism, hypopituitarism, and other causes are also for short stature. What are the other causes? Chromosomal causes like Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, then Patau syndrome, Edwards syndrome, so many syndromes are there. These are the also cause of short stature. So how can you proceed to know what is the causes of short stature? First, you have to take the history of the patient's history. How can you take the history? You have to find it out. What is the age? What is the name? What is the sex? And then on that basis, you have history of present illness, past medical history. You have to ask the nutritional history. Then you have to take the past medical history. What will ask about the past medical history? Antenatal, intranatal, and postnatal history. Antenatal history, sometimes the torch infection also causes short stature. Torch infections means toxoplasmosis, syphilis, congenital syphilis, rubella, then cytomegalovirus and herpes. It also causes short stature. And then modes of delivery, how the patient was delivered, whether it was normal delivery or some cesarean section. If the cesarean section was done, what was the cause of cesarean section? So by taking the history, then you can come to the conclusion, yes, this is the cause. And then you have to examine the child. You have to do the general physical examination and you have to do the systemic examination also. In general physical examination, for short stature, you have to take the length or height of the child. And then you have to plot on the growth chart, and then you can tell that this is a case of short stature. And then you have to take the height of the mothers and fathers also. Then you will be confirmed, yes, this is a case of short stature. And then you will go for investigations. Investigation that I have told, so many causes of short stature, like if it is a case of chromosomal causes, if you are thinking this might be a cause, genetic causes or chromosomal causes, what will investigate? You will do the karyotyping to find it out whether it is chromosomal endocrinal causes chromosomal causes like Down syndrome or other syndrome. If you are thinking this is due to endocrinal causes of short stature, then you have to investigate on the line of thyroid function test and then other growth hormone estimation. If you are thinking this is a case of genetic causes of short stature, then you have to ask the history, detailed history of consanguinity. You must ask about the genetic causes of short stature. If you are thinking this is a case of cardiovascular causes of short stature, then what you have to investigate? You have to take the X-ray, you have to do the echocardiogram, and you have to find it out whether the child is having cyanotic or acyanotic heart disease. If you are thinking this is a renal causes of short stature, then first of all you have to examine the urine. If you get any albumin in the urine, then you have to do the renal function test in detail. And renal function test you might be knowing, it is due to blood urea, creatinine, cholesterol, and then triglycerides. And then you have to also do the echocardio ultrasonogram, and then you have to do the other investigations also. If you are thinking this short stature is due to other systemic causes like gastrointestinal causes, then you have to find it out the cause of this short stature. And in this way, you can come to the diagnosis. Why the short stature? But so how can you treat? Treatment is, you cannot treat all the short stature. But some of the short stature, if you know the cause, you can treat. As for example, let us take one example. If it is a case of hypothyroidism, and if you have identified in the beginning the thyroid, L-thyroxine is the treatment of hypothyroidism. And if you give L-thyroxine, the short stature, his height can increase also. Okay? But if it is a case of Down syndrome, you cannot increase the height of the Down syndrome. But if it is a case of Turner syndrome, you can treat a Turner syndrome by giving some growth hormone. Okay? If it is a case of renal causes, and if the patient is having chronic renal failure, you have to go for either for dialysis or for renal transplantation. So there are so many. Each and every short stature cannot be treated, but some of the short stature can be treated and even prevented also. Okay, so these are the treatment of short stature. So now, so if you see any patients in the ward or in the inpatient department, you first assess the child, and then ultimately we have to treat the child with, if it is treatable. If it is not treatable, then sometimes we have to do the counseling also. Counseling means if the child is having genetic disease or chromosomal disease, counseling is very important. Okay, so I think for growth and development, in growth, this is enough for you. And once you come to the inpatient or outpatient department, you will learn more and more. You have to present also, and you will learn more and more. So you go and read also the books. I have already told O.P. Ghai is the best book for growth and development, and even for the other chapters also. Okay, any questions? Now I have time to ask any questions that you could not understood. Yes.
Sir, what is the past history that should we ask? The questions.
Past medical history. In past medical history, you have to take the birth history. Okay, birth history has got three components: antenatal, intranatal, and postnatal. In antenatal, you have to ask to the mother whether the mother has got any types of fever or not, whether the mother is taking any drugs or not, whether the mother is working anywhere which can affect the child health. Yes, so you have to ask so many things. Antenatal history. In intranatal history, you have to ask where the baby was born, whether at home, whether in a hospital. You might be knowing in our context, like Nepal as a developing country, most of the delivery occurs at home. But right now, 40 to 50% also occurs in hospital scenario. In tertiary level hospital, only few percentage like delivery can occur. So you have to ask, and if the delivery can occurs in tertiary level, the chances of complication is less. But when at home, the chances of complication. Previously, there was a disease, tetanus neonatorum, and which when the delivery was conducted by the local guy, they used to cut the umbilical cord by rusted knife, and tetanus